here to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny.
I'm here to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny.
I think Fortnite. Oh, you. I think Fortnite is the worst thing to happen in gaming. It's shite. I can't believe it's the most YouTube thing I think ever. Like, it's like 70% or some shite of people searching for this fucking shite game. Also, right, my main problem with it is it's free, and you can tell when you play it.
But
it feels like a free game.
Can't you buy things in it though?
Yeah, but like it's just like
I know, but I'm saying microtransactions. I'm playing this game on my iPad at the minute called Stupid Zombies 3. My problem is I played the first two, and you can just play as much as you like. And then on this one, you have 5 lives. Once you lose them, you have to wait either like an hour for them all to refill, or pay to get more lives straight away. The thing I hate about myself is I've actually paid on this. I've spent about £15 on this app.
Why? I went through that
because
exact
I've
process.
been bored on the toilet. And that's entirely why. And it's the whole microtransactions, and that's how I think Fortnite will get all these people.
You're an idiot.
I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. But like this girl who's been admitted to like rehab, and she's like 9 because she's addicted to Fortnite.
Oh my god!
Right.
No
True
way.
story.
To be fair,
what's that about?
When I was 9, RuneScape had its grips in me.
No, but like the difference is Fortnite is like you get dropped in for one game, you win, you lose, whatever. That game happens. You do the next game. RuneScape and World of Warcraft and MMOs. The reason RuneScape got its fucking grips in the is because you're chopping wood for like 2 hours to get your wood skill up,
It's so
and that
good.
persists for the next 6 years of your life or
That
something.
sounds awful.
It's
Shut
mint.
down.
RuneScape shut down. You show some fucking respect for the dead.
Respect the dead. Let's shout out to another podcast. Who are far more popular than us.
Yeah, like what you said about microtransactions though is like they've got to have them if they're free to play. Like they've got to. Otherwise
Well,
they're not
that's the
making
thing
money.
I'm saying. What they should do is don't have anything. Why can't they just like have us buy things outright? Then we'll have it. They just fucking
because
making us pay through the nose for these things that we don't actually want. It's this whole like psychological fucking thing.
No, because the reason is though is that you kind of no one's paying 25-30 quid for a mobile game, and if you are, you're an idiot like you, right? But then, so if they do it where it's like, oh, well, you spend 2 quid here, you spend 2 quid there, and then before you know it, you spend 15 quid. Like that's how they get you. But I do think it's very flawed. Like you see, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Fortnite actually, where this guy, he comes home from work or whatever, and his kid spent like $2 grand
I remember
on
this.
Fortnite
I
stuff
remember
or
the
something.
story.
It's a
And
real
it's-
story.
Yeah, and it's and he's ringing up at Xbox being like, "I want my money
Yeah,
back."
fuck
Like
that.
I didn't tell me kid to buy it or anything, and like I just think you're sort of relying on the fact that kids are gonna just like be a bit deceitful. Because like, but then again, there'll be enough people who buy it outright, just and buy the boxes and the loot boxes and stuff who want them.
Oh, let's get on loot boxes in a bit. I don't have any issue at all with microtransactions, unless they are like hinder the gameplay kind of thing. You know, like when the shit locked behind a paywall that affects gameplay and affects how you play. If it's like cosmetic shit, if someone wants to spend £5 to change the look of their avatar or whatever, that's completely fine. I've paid money to do that before on like games I've really liked, and like that's a completely fine business model. Like most MMOs do it that are free to play and stuff like that. But when you start like mobile games are different because it really does stop you from playing the game unless you pay more or wait.
Yeah.
So like that type of shit those are the worst microtransactions.
Why can't it be like the good old days where you get stuff by playing the fucking game?
Yeah,
you actually unlock things through playing it. You buy the game, you play the game, you unlock things.
I know
You don't you get the game, you do fuck all, and you put in your fucking credit card details.
What you're saying about unlocking stuff versus paying for it, you have to realise that's a thing of single player games versus multiplayer games. Microtransactions in single player games are absolute bullshit and should never be a thing.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Warner Bros. Fuck you. Fuck Middle Earth. That's just ridiculous.
Is that
Yeah, they put loot boxes in a Middle Earth Shadow of War single player experience. Loot boxes in a single player experience.
Yeah.
Who's paying for that?
But like, why should it be in a multiplayer experience?
Because like it's different unlocking things, like unlocking like different looks and stuff in multiplayer. Like because it's constantly updating, you know. Like if they just like it would be lovely in a world where they just updated and like made it so like, oh, now you've got to unlock this by doing this. But like, they're never going to do that. They're never.
I'm saying they should.
Well, you've got to think about money. Companies are not people. They're not there to make you feel good. They're there to make money.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
but
bottom line.
The point is, they're doing that anyway by selling these units of games at like 40 and 50 quid a pop. All they're doing is it's just greed is all it is. They're still making huge profits anyway. We should all stand up and say fuck you.
Start revolution.
And not buy these things. Buy the game, play it, and just like fucking put a ban across it all.
People have been doing that for years. Have you not realised that like
The thing
Battlefront 2?
The thing is like the 5-year-old who
He's not going to listen to that. Yeah,
who spends like he wants the fucking
he's
the
gonna
camo. He wants his play with sunglasses. He's gonna go and get £5 from his mum.
Yeah, he is. That's,
You know what I mean? And the mum's gonna go, oh yeah, why not? Because it's gonna make the kid happy and it's £5.
Yeah.
And then he does that like once a month, and then he's made more money. They've made more money off him than they have off me, who I barely buy DLC. Like I don't think I've ever bought a DLC package for a game. Like,
What about all the COD map packs?
I've definitely bought but even then, not loads of them. Like I don't buy all of them. I buy the ones on the games that I really enjoy, and if I don't really enjoy the game that much, I won't.
Battlefront 2 it has loot boxes in it, and loot boxes that are the worst kind, like I said, that affect the gameplay. Like you can get better moves in it that will make you better than other players who don't spend money on the game.
That's even
But
worse
you have
as well.
to pay for those moves.
Yeah, you have to pay for a loot box for the random chance to get those moves.
That is the
That's
most
what I say.
ridiculous thing I've
And,
ever
like,
heard in my life.
Disney, like enough people complain that Disney got onto EA and they're like, how about stop fucking Star Wars like this? And then, even though they're fucking Star Wars themselves, and then once they did that, EA had to reevaluate everything. They took out all loot boxes. You can no longer pay for any of that shit. All you can pay for is cosmetics and stuff. So now they've completely changed the way that the multiplayer works. So it's more of a skill, like leveling up kind of system and stuff. So it is taking effect, and shit is happening finally. And I think it's because we've reached the point where single player games have microtransactions, loot boxes are everywhere, and people are just like, what's happened here?
What? Like, if a game retails at £50, you should have all of that game.
That's what
and you should be
Battlefront 2
able to
did.
play that game
That's what
without
Battlefront 2
having to buy other shit.
Exactly.
I heard
It's
on,
ridiculous.
I heard at some point, and I've got no factual evidence to back this up now, so it might not even be right. But I read that because of inflation, games are now cheaper than they were in the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
Because of just the rate of inflation. The way I look at it as well is, so you go to the pictures, and like I'd say the majority of people go to the cinema at some point, regardless of how often they go. So if you say you go to the pictures, even if you don't buy any of the popcorn or whatever, you spend like 6-7 quid, right, for an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of entertainment. Like if you put that into a game, like you're not really getting the ratio, but at the same time it's more interactive. And say like your normal games like 25-30 hours.
I wish. Normal games like 10 to 15. There's
I think-
very good exceptions. Depending on genre, really.
I suppose,
Yeah,
I
it
don't.
depends. Like what? Like there are some games I've more than gotten my money's worth out of.
Oh yeah. Well, it
And
does.
like the others, I'm like Far Cry 5. I played for a few hours, and then I was like, I'm just doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
I do
Like,
think that
I'm still playing Phantom Pain
I think-
since 2015.
I'm
I
still
think-
playing Witcher 3 since 2015 as well.
I think what's worse though is, like with Far Cry, you've still got the option to play a lot more than that. Like there's a lot more.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like you have it, and you have that for as much as you like. Whereas, as you say, the cinema, you have no control over like how
Right.
long that's gonna last or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you should just play a game because of the money you spend on it, but
Yeah.
I do think if you spend £50 on a game and you play 4 hours of it and then decide it's not for you, like that's kind of on you. Like it's
Yeah.
not on them that their game isn't suited for whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think Far Cry is a slight exception because it does just get boring. But like at the same time, I got bored with it after the first island, and I just sort of like went through the rest of the game without, because I was sort of doing all the side missions and stuff, and then I realised it was just utter bollocks.
Yeah.
I could just run through the game, so I just ran through it and finished it, and I was like, oh, this is alright. I probably played like 20 odd hours in it, but
This leads me to my other problem, away from money. I'm sick of open worlds in games.
yeah.
I don't think you're sick of open worlds. I think you're sick of open worlds that for the sake of open worlds.
Exactly, that is
You
what
know.
it is. Like, I think it works. Like,
Can you throw some examples out? Because
Yes.
right, a lot of people say this, right? But then when I think about every open world game that I know, I think that would still be a lot worse if it wasn't open world.
yes, well, here's like, I love GTA, open world,
Yeah.
like Red Dead Redemption. Oh, when Rockstar does it, great.
Apart from L.A. Noire, an absolutely worthless open world.
I love Ellie.
L.A.
Absolutely worthless open world. There's nothing happens in that
That's true, but
That
I
is
still,
actually-
I still love Ellie and
That is really true. But can I just say, I don't think it's worthless because I think the feel of that
Yeah,
is a lot of what makes it.
I
And I
agree.
think going around the city and sort of being you put into 1940s LA.
yeah,
And I think you wouldn't get that if it was linear and it was just like sort of cutscene, then you're at someone else's house, then cutscene, then you're at the next place.
I agree.
I don't think.
I don't know. I feel like you
I do know what you mean. There needs to be more in the world, 100%.
Yeah,
But I
like
don't-
more reason to explore it.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Yeah, I still like that it is open world. But one sort of example, I don't really know where I stand with it, is Phantom Pain. And
I think that's open world
Like-
for the sake of it being
like
open world.
I replay it a lot because I just like go to these different bits and you can just approach these situations from so many different angles. But like I'd probably replay it loads still if it was just linear with a great story and all these great moments in it. And it like you don't really get that anymore. You never get these just like linear narratives pushing you through, and everyone complains, "Oh, it's too linear." I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm not like generalising, but it's like I just think we do get too many open worlds for the sake of it. Oh, Tomb Raider, prime example.
Tomb Raider is
It is.
Like,
there's none of it,
I just like you're just running through this thing, and it was like, oh, you can return to these. So I never backtracked once in that game.
There's no need to.
And then I started Rise of the Tomb Raider. Opening was mint, and I was like, this is going to be so much better than the first one. I still enjoyed the first one, but like there's still a lot I didn't like. And then you get in this like open world, and all this snow. I shit thee nay. I couldn't tell where I was or where I was going. I got lost, and I haven't been back to it. I was just like, fuck this, like open world purely for the sake of it.
I agree. I think probably the best way that open world can be done now, if you absolutely have to have open world in it, is semi-open world games where it's not really open world. It's large areas.
God of War's like that.
Yeah, God of War's like that. Just large areas where like there's lots to do in that area, and then there's more large areas around. You know, it's not like you go into one area, you think, oh, like this is completely unique. This is something new I can do in here, but like you're still allowed to run around and
Yeah.
do whatever you want to.
Well, I think God of War works the best with that because I started the game, and the thing is, you don't really get your first side quest until you're about 10 hours in, maybe a bit before, probably
Yeah.
like 6 or 7, and I was going through thinking, why is this open world then? And but then it really doesn't really feel open world either.
No.
And then as you get through the game, you start realizing this is why. And from what I understand about Castlevania and Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff, it's all similarly leveled. So it's like there's easier ways to backtrack once you've been to a place because you knock down the chains and stuff.
Yeah.
You got
This
shortcuts.
isn't the same people who made Dark Souls.
No.
No, but it takes a lot from it, and apparently Castlevania is the same where it's like you do it and then you can go back and there's reasons to go back and you go
Yeah.
back to the same.
There is.
And that's, I think that it's the first time I've ever played a game like that because I've never played Dark Souls. I played Bloodborne for literally like half an hour and I was like, this is not for me. I'm thinking about going back to it though.
Well, yeah, it's just like the sake of it. Like Tomb Raider is basically, you know, it has those great moments. It's like Uncharted. It's just great moment after great moment. It just pushes you through, and like Tomb Raider, for some reason, you've got to run about smashing wooden boxes
Yeah, I am sick of. I'm
to
sick
find
of.
these shitty little upgrades.
I'm sick of games where it's like you loot something or you have to smash the boxes, and like every time you do it, it draws you into like this false sense of like needing to loot because every time you do it, you get like I don't know, like 5 coins, say, and it really doesn't make a difference. And over time, like it might make a difference, but it's gonna make a difference in terms of like 100. Whereas when it starts to matter, you've already got thousands.
A game came out recently. It talked about realism, and I really hate this game. Have you seen it? Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I haven't.
Oh, I watched a review for that. It looks like
It's
the
fucking-
worst shit I've ever seen.
it's
You know what it looks like?
awful.
It looks like it looks like a sort of little game that's been specially made for a museum.
I get you for the historical part.
Yeah, it looks like, honestly, I was looking at it, I was like, this just looks like a history teacher would just cream himself over this.
It really is. And, like, the thing about it as well, it has a weight system, which of fucking course it does. Everything about it is aiming to be, like, really realistic, which I can dig for some people,
Yeah,
you know.
you've got your helmet on, you can, like...
Yeah, you can only see through the visor, yeah.
I have
and,
seen it, and it looks shit.
It-
Like,
it's
that is a
awful.
shit idea.
it is.
It's shit.
I
Stop it.
I can see why people would like it, though, like,
Why?
some people.
I can't.
I can understand some people really enjoying it, but, like,
You
there's
don't realise
one thing that
You're playing a game. You're not a knight. Like, you're just not. You're sitting in your room in your boxes playing a fucking game. Like,
I play my games clothed, but...
you don't
yes,
need.
Paul.
You don't need to feel like this is the like. I never come away from a game like I didn't finish The Witcher and go, oh, so realistic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in the middle of God of War, loving it, thinking,
Yeah, but they
the
weren't,
realism in this game is spectacular.
they weren't designed for that. One, you're a god. The other, you're a fucking witcher.
I know, bad examples, but even Last of Us, like, Last of Us is really realistic in terms of the context that the story has
Yeah.
and how everything's dealt with. I think is really realistic. But I don't. That's not why I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't love GTA because it's realistic either.
Well, then you're just, like, I'm saying you're not the demographic for this realistic game.
But, like, it's not a demographic.
Yes, it is. People bought it. People are excited for this. Mountain Blades, the same people play that shit for the realism.
I think this is a niche market.
It is a niche market,
gotta
it definitely
be.
is. But what I was going to say, the worst thing about it, the thing that really boggles my mind, even for the people who, like, are into the realism, to save the game, you can't save. You can't save unless you go to sleep. Or you make a potion that lets you save, called Savior Schnapps.
That sounds.
Oh.
It's so bad that the day the game came out, modders went, Albert, we'll fix this for you. And instantly made a mod that went, just save whenever you want. It's so awful that, like, everyone's complained about it. It's the worst system I've ever tried to use.
I stand on the fence actually about whether it's bad because it depends on entirely what game I'm
Good
playing.
balance.
I hate games that I don't really like games that have an autosave where you can't really save manually.
Oh, you mean like a game with one save slot where it just keeps saving your game?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but I also don't like games that don't have an autosave.
I
And I also don't like if games where you save manually, right? And I don't know. I think Uncharted might do this, where you save it, but when you actually load the game, you are further back. in the
Oh
level.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it leads you
yeah.
back to the checkpoint.
Fallout's
Yeah.
the best for that. You can just save whenever you want, and you load it back up, and you're exactly where you were.
Well,
The
Witcher
Witcher's
does
like
that.
that.
Oblivion
Yeah.
does that.
well,
Lots of
yeah.
RPGs do that. Like, but
That's the way it should be. And God of War actually is real good at this as well.
it does.
Because
yeah,
when
it
when
does
you
actually.
die, you're dropped off literally just before the fight, and you can just walk away. Like, you're not stuck in the fight. And then when you save, you load straight into it.
Yeah, that's because it's constantly autosaving that one. That's really good. But what you said about, like, that's the thing though with autosaves. Like, for example, Dark Souls would be a lot worse if you could save whenever you wanted. Because, like, you know, Dark Souls is all about the dying, the repeating. Like, you know, if you lose your stuff, then you lost it for good, kind of thing. Dark Souls autosaves, like, all the time to, like, and, like, if you quit and then load, you'll be right back where you were regardless. Like, so, like, if you quit in the middle of a fight and load in the middle of a fight, you'll still be in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
So, you know, the autosave, I think, really works on that. So I like that the Dark Souls you can't like manually save whenever you want. So it does just depend on literally what game you're playing.
It does, I suppose. It just annoys us because I'm like, sometimes, like, everyone leads busy lives, and I don't, and there's games where I want to play them, but it's like, right, well, I've only got an hour, and what happens in 45 minutes time if that's the save point, but I want to play a bit more, you don't know when the next save point is.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, that's like with Kingdom Come Deliverance. Like, I don't have the fucking time to find a bed to sleep in. And, like, also with the problem with these games as well is when they don't let you save, and then, like, maybe, like, you'll die for, like, a really stupid reason. You know, like, something goes wrong, you die. Not even in combat or something, like, I don't know. maybe like you fall from too high a height or something because the controls are bad,
Yeah.
some shit like that. Then you load an hour ago in progress to like an autosave, and you think, I've just wasted an hour of my life there.
Yeah.
Like those are the worst types of games, the absolute worst, which is what made me download the mod for Kingdom Come, because I haven't, not played it. And I died and I lost 2 hours of progress. And I went, fuck, I quit. I was like, I'm not playing this game ever again.
Another thing that I wanted to touch on, they keep remastering shit that doesn't need remastering.
They do.
And they don't, and I know this is just entirely selfish, they don't remaster the shit I want.
Well, no, like,
Okay, what hasn't needed remastering? What do you want remastering?
What doesn't need remastering, and Dan's not gonna like this one, Crash doesn't need remastering.
Oh
Just release it. Like, you know when they do the PlayStation 1 and they port it.
no, but like, no.
Do that shit. You don't need to fucking remaster that shit. Spyro doesn't need remastering. Fucking, you know what does? The first Spider-Man game.
Oh my god, no, it doesn't.
No.
With Tobey Maguire.
No.
Oh, the
no,
PS1 one.
PS1
No,
Spider-Man.
No, we don't need
Where
that
is it?
remastered.
Nah.
Like, I agree with what you're saying that we don't need any more. Like, there's a thing, it's different. There's remasters, and then there's, like, remakes, pretty much. Crash is a remake, it's not
Pretty
a
much,
remaster.
yeah.
It's, like, completely from the ground up, rebuilt, kind of like, you know. It's all the same shit, but everything's, like, changed. Even the mechanics are changed. So, like, speedrunners who speedrun Crash 1 can't speedrun the Crash trilogy
Right.
the same way they did the first one, because, like, just the way it works has changed.
They altered the controls quite a bit as well.
Yeah, and like so, like that
Really?
game, I think that game fully was deserving of a remake,
Absolutely.
and Spyro's as well. Remasters are the HD remasters that are not really necessary. I mean, like, I don't think they're necessary, but I still enjoy them because I like to buy my games that I really love for like the new consoles. So like, you know, I never can stop playing them.
Why have they remastered Skyrim about 8 times?
That is pathetic. That is
Skyrim on
pathetic.
anything.
Let's talk about how Skyrim is out on every single console ever made, even like the fucking Dreamcast to get a remake for, because I hate it.
You can get it on Nintendo Switch for £50.
I know,
A
they
game
just
that
keep-
came out like fucking 5 or 6 years ago.
Longer.
Yeah, yeah.
I was in Europe.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago, some shit
Wow.
now.
Yeah.
And they just
crazy.
keep releasing it for the full price, and it doesn't deserve it.
You know what, as well,
The full
right?
price.
Yeah, like full price game,
£50,
£50 on Nintendo Switch, Skyrim.
Basically, just to summarise, fuck Skyrim and fuck Fortnite.
Sugar, 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 sugar.
Oh my god.
I will silver away.